In the serene coastal town of Manuel Antonio, Costa Rica, a luxury hotel known as La Mansion Inn became the unlikely stage for a brutal murder in July 2020. The incident captivated not only the local community but also international audiences, primarily due to the involvement of a Dutch national, Harry Bodaan, a once celebrated hotel owner from The Hague. The 71-year-old Bodaan, who had spent decades cultivating a reputation as a successful entrepreneur and philanthropist, found himself ensnared in a legal battle that could have cost him his freedom, despite his fervent proclamations of innocence. The crime in question occurred during the night of July 20th, 2020, when 43-year-old Maria Luisa Cedeño, the head of the anesthesia department at a major hospital in San Jose, the capital of Costa Rica, was found brutally murdered in her hotel room. Cedeño, who had been on a weekend getaway with her dog at La Mansion Inn, was discovered by two chambermaids the next morning, wrapped in blankets, with signs that her body had been washed in an apparent attempt to erase evidence. The scene was described as gruesome, with the victim showing signs of severe physical and sexual abuse. The investigation revealed that Cedeño had been violently beaten, raped, and ultimately killed by asphyxiation due to pressure applied to her neck. Bite marks were also found on her body, with two of them on her right forearm and cheek being attributed to Harry Bodaan by the Costa Rican Public Prosecution Service The case took an even more sinister turn when it was alleged that Bodaan, along with his PR officer Luis Carlos Miranda and former hotel bartender Tio Herrera Martinez, had been involved in the crime. According to the prosecutor, Martinez, who was 40 years old at the time, carried out the physical assault, while Bodaan and Miranda held the victim down, facilitating the horrific act. Harry Bodaan's life story read like a classic tale of success. Born in The Hague in 1951, Bodaan moved to the United States in the 1970s, where he started working for Hilton and eventually rose to the position of hotel manager. In the early 1980s, he became the director of the prestigious National Press Club in Washington, D.C., a hub for journalists, politicians, and global leaders. During his tenure, Bodaan formed close relationships with influential figures, including Oscar Arias, the then president of Costa Rica, and Soviet leaders Mikhail Gorbachev and Boris Yeltsin. These connections would later play a significant role in shaping his life. After a successful stint in Moscow, where he established a press club modeled after the American one, Bodaan accepted Arias' invitation to visit Costa Rica. Enamored with the country, he eventually settled there, first helping a friend set up a hotel and later acquiring his own, La Mansion Inn. The hotel quickly gained a reputation for its stunning views, impeccable service, and the personal touch of its owner, attracting celebrities and dignitaries alike. Despite his success, Bodaan's later years were marred by health issues. He battled Parkinson's disease, recovered from cancer, and underwent knee surgery, all of which left him physically weakened and partially dependent on a wheelchair. His health problems, coupled with the onset of the COVID-19 pandemic, which devastated the tourism industry, led him to consider selling the hotel. However, the murder of Maria Luisa Cedeño turned his life upside down, placing him at the center of a sensational murder trial that had been ongoing for several months. The events of July 19, 2020 were pieced together through witness testimonies and forensic evidence. On that evening, Maria Luisa Cedeño was last seen alive when she visited the hotel reception to collect a bottle of wine and 2 glasses, one for the wine and one for water, as was her habit. She then retreated to her room, where she sent photos of her meal and the picturesque surroundings to her family and friends. Unbeknownst to them, these would be her final communications. Later that night, Bodaan, who had spent the evening with Martinez, Miranda, and his husband Danilo Obando, went to bed around 10 p.m., taking his medication as usual. He was awakened at around 2 a.m. by the sound of Martinez, who was drunk and causing a disturbance by the hotel pool. Bodaan confronted him, told him to go to bed, and then returned to his own room. It was around this time that Cedeño was murdered, according to forensic experts who estimated her time of death to be around 3 a.m. The next morning, when Cedeño failed to appear for breakfast or check out, hotel staff became concerned and eventually entered her room, discovering her lifeless body. It was noteworthy that the perpetrator did not enter the victim's room with a key card. The hotel's computer system did not register any key activity at the room all night. However, the balcony door was ajar. This could have indicated that Dr. Cedeño herself let her murderer in, or that he sneaked in through the balcony door. Harry Bodaan claimed that he had never met the doctor before, although he was treated in her hospital. Cedeño was said to have spoken to the ex-barman, Tio Martinez, the day before her death. The investigation quickly focused on the hotel's staff and guests, with Martinez being arrested first due to the incriminating evidence found on his person, including scratches likely inflicted by Cedeño during her struggle and traces of her blood on his shoes. Despite the evidence against Martinez, the Costa Rican authorities expanded their investigation to include Bodaan and Miranda, citing the bite marks found on Cedeño's body. However, Bodaan vehemently denied any involvement in the crime, insisting that he never entered Cedeño's room until after her body was discovered. His defense team argued that his physical condition, marked by Parkinson's disease and the aftereffects of cancer treatment, would have made it impossible for him to participate in such a violent crime. Additionally, he was a gay man, raising the question, why would he commit such an act? Moreover, no DNA evidence linking Bodaan to the crime scene was found, and the hotel's keycard system showed no record of anyone entering Cedeño's room after she retired for the night. The balcony door was found ajar, leading to speculation that the killer may have gained access to the room through it, either by being let in by Cedeño or by sneaking in undetected. Bodaan's defense also pointed out that he had never met Cedeño before, despite being treated at the hospital where she worked, further questioning the motive for his alleged involvement. The case was further complicated by the fact that the initial investigation was marred by inconsistencies and errors. For example, the hotel's security cameras were not functioning properly at the time, and key pieces of evidence were not collected or analyzed in a timely manner. These lapses fueled suspicions of corruption and led Bodaan's supporters to claim that he was being scapegoated by the Costa Rican authorities, who were under pressure to solve the high-profile case. The trial of Harry Bodaan, Tia Herrera Martinez, and Luis Carlos Miranda dragged on for over 4 months, with 66 witnesses called to testify. The case was delayed multiple times due to various reasons, including the COVID-19 pandemic, which affected both the defendants and the legal teams involved. As the trial dragged on, the atmosphere in Costa Rica became increasingly charged, with public opinion overwhelmingly against Bodaan, fueled by sensational media coverage that portrayed him as a villain. Bodaan's defense called in experts from the Netherlands, Guatemala, and Spain to challenge the prosecution's evidence, particularly the bite mark analysis, which they argued was not reliable enough to convict someone of murder. Furthermore, the Dutch NFO claimed that the dental impressions did not even resemble normal human teeth. These experts testified that the marks could have been made by someone else or even by an object, rather than by Bodaan himself. Despite this, the prosecution remained steadfast in its pursuit of a conviction, insisting that Bodaan played a role in the crime. In addition to the legal battle, Bodaan faced significant personal and financial challenges. In 2021, he sold La Mansion Inn to 2 Dutch businessmen for $3.5 million, partly to cover his legal expenses. However, the payment plan was fraught with issues, with the new owners failing to make regular installments, leading to further financial strain on Bodaan. For Harry Bodaan, the trial was a grueling ordeal. Due to his deteriorating health, he was initially allowed to await his trial under house arrest, but this was later revoked, and he was moved to a prison hospital where he complained about the substandard care. His friend and longtime Costa Rica resident Willie Dreesen, who visited him regularly, described the conditions as deplorable, particularly given Bodaan's physical limitations. Despite this, Bodaan remained hopeful that the truth would eventually come out and that he would be exonerated. In 2023, after a protracted and contentious legal battle, Harry Bodaan was acquitted of all charges. The acquittal brought relief to Bodaan and his supporters, but did little to repair his tarnished reputation. The case highlighted the complexities of criminal investigations, particularly when forensic evidence is disputed and media coverage influences public perception. Maria Luisa Cedeño's murder remained a poignant reminder of the challenges faced in high-profile cases. It underscored the difficulties in achieving justice when evidence was contentious and the profound impact such cases can have on individuals and communities. For Bodaan, the ordeal was a devastating personal and professional crisis. For the public, it was a stark illustration of the complexities and darker aspects of seemingly idyllic settings. The murder of Maria Luisa Cedeño and the trial of Dutch hotel owner Harry Bodaan spotlighted significant issues in Costa Rica's legal system, especially in cases involving foreigners. It revealed the challenges faced by accused individuals who may not fully understand local legal processes or have adequate resources. Additionally, the case highlighted the contentious use of bite mark analysis as forensic evidence, raising concerns about its reliability and the need for rigorous standards to prevent wrongful convictions. For Bodaan, the stakes could not have been higher, as a conviction could have meant spending the rest of his life in prison. For Maria Luisa Cedeño's family, the trial represented a long-awaited opportunity for justice. The case serves as a reminder of the complexities of the justice system, where the truth is not always clear-cut. If you found this story compelling, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe for more deep dives into true crime, and let us know your thoughts in the comments below. What do you think really happened in this tragic case?